Hi, I'm Duncan, and I'd like to welcome you to my latest YouTube channel feature. Today, I'll be talking about a film franchise, or film franchises, in fact, that I've had a love affair with for over 50 years. I'm talking about Planet of the Apes. And the series originally started in 1968 with a film of the same name. And then the sequel was Beneath the Planet of the Apes, which was followed by Escape from the Planet of the Apes, then Conquest for the Planet of the Apes, and finished in 1973 with Battle for the Planet of the Apes. Now, that's when I saw my first Planet of the Apes movie. I was able to persuade my gran, who I used to go visit in Wimbledon, to take me to see the movie when I'd seen a poster on the wall down in the Wimbledon town that looked very, very graphic and exciting. And the film, she was very reluctant to take me, but in the end, I guess I charmed her into it. She was very close to my gran, and she'd do anything really for me. So we went to see the movie in the Wimbledon Odeon, and I enjoyed it. It was just fabulous. It delivered. It was different from the poster, but it still was very, very exciting, and I sort of fell in love with the franchise, although I didn't realize there were four prequels already. And I think film 77 there were there interviewing people after the movie, and they interviewed me, but my interview ended up on the cutting room floor. It was never broadcast. Oh well, they probably had taste. Um, so really, I wouldn't see the other films for a little while, but about a year after seeing Battle for the Planet of the Apes, we had a TV series of Planet of the Apes, which ran for about, I think it was about 15 episodes. I live in the UK, by the way, so London Weekend got it, but I think were very, very silly about what time they broadcast it. They tried broadcasting it on a Sunday night peak viewing time, and really it was a family show, but tea time would have been a much better slot to put it on. We couldn't see it, my brother and I, for a little while because my mum and dad watched The Brothers, which was a very popular BBC TV show at the time. But we did get a black and white portable TV in our bedroom very soon after that. So we watched most of them in black and white. People pretty much know the story. I'll try and give a few spoilers away, but it was about the whole franchise is about contact that 20th century astronauts make when they go through a time warp in their spaceship to a time and a place some 2,000 years in the future. And the TV series had the same start with three astronauts coming through to what they don't know, an alien planet somewhere a few thousand years in the future. One of them dies, doesn't make it through when the spaceship lands, but the other two, Burke and Verdon, played by Burke was played by James Norton, I think, and Alan Verdon was played by Ron Harper. They survive and make friends with Galen, a chimpanzee who is played by Roddy McDowall. And it's not long before they realise that they are not welcome at all. Urko was played by Mark Leonard, who played Spock's father in the TV series and the films as well. He was magnificent. He's got a wonderful voice. Uh, but it was great fun. There was a wonderful episode which involved twin calves, which when I met Ron Harper at Cult TV in 2007, he said yes, he had very fond memories of that episode. And I had, with a whole load of other people, a lesson in method acting, because he was in the same uh, drama class as Marilyn Monroe at Lee Strasberg's um, School for Method Acting in the 1950s. Sadly, no longer with us, but a very lovely man. Um, Going back to 1968, well, going to 1975 actually, because my friend Giles and I went to see Planet of the Apes on a reissue in Kingston Cinema with Charlton Heston, and I think it was running with the Poseidon Adventure. And I very much enjoyed it. I knew the ending to the film because Giles had recently seen Beneath the Planet of the Apes, which starts with that ending. But I'll try to keep it quiet, just in case you haven't seen Planet of the Apes. I had laid it to two friends to see, and fortunately I deliberately made sure I had the cassette box so that they wouldn't, because it's got the ending on the front of the, which is just nuts really. Having the ending on the cassette box. But so they enjoyed it, and they enjoyed the twist at the end. Then a few years later, we had Planet of the Apes came on TV for the first time in 1977, and the films trickled through after that. So I watched them all and enjoyed them. The ending of Escape from the Planet of the Apes surprisingly got a U certificate by the British Board of Film Censors, as they were at the time. This was before I came and worked for them. But I couldn't believe it, because the ending is very, very graphic and very, very sad. But it leads the way to Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, which leads its way to battle. And what happened was that there was a massive amount of merchandise coming through from the films, magazines, books, ape masks, can't remember, colouring books, little figurines. And for Christmas 1975, I got a Planet of the Apes factory, which was a thing whereby you had molds, and you made the mold out of water, put water and made a mold out of it, which you let dry, and then you opened it up, and you had a figure of, say, Zera or Cornelius, or I think it was the TV series that it concentrated on. But anyhow, my friend Giles, I used to make them for him so he could shoot them up with his air rifle. And they were very different from the one that presented on the box. They just stood at attention, whereas on the box you had them all sort of moving, and but it was still a nice thing to have. And I had that 1976 annual of a program, a very popular magazine we have in the UK. It's not available anymore, but it's called Look In, and it dealt very heavily with Planet of the Apes. That annual. My mum, bless her, couldn't understand why I was so interested in, and she thought it was for a very infantile, but I think it was a very clever idea. It was the franchise is based on a book called Monkey Planet by Pierre Boulle, who's the same guy who wrote Bridge on the River Kwai, and he considered it a very minor work, but Planet of the Apes was based on it, so he would have had royalties, and I guess royalties from the merchandise as well. And it's got Charlton Heston is absolutely superb as Colonel Taylor, who's the only survivor eventually of the spaceship that's brought him to the planet. And he is clearly a very complex man, not a very nice man, at least not to start with. Certainly not the kind of guy you want to have to help recruit new NASA staff. Although as the film progresses, you actually find that he's got a really good sense of humour, and he's also incredibly brave. But he won't take risks to save people. He's very much an individualist. You've got Zira, played by Kim Hunter, Cornelius, played by Roddy McDowall, and you've also got Dr. Zaius, played by Maurice Evans. And there's a very nice little character. I can't remember who played him. Lucius, who's Cornelius and Zira's nephew, who's always moaning about being, because he's young, he's given orders. And during the film, when they're all saying goodbye, Colonel Taylor gives Lucius some advice and says, never trust a man over 30. Beneath the Planet of the Apes continues after Planet of the Apes, and Escape from the Planet of the Apes is Zira and Cornelius and Dr. Milo getting back from the Planet of the Apes to modern 1973 America. And this is where Zira has a baby, and that baby turns into Caesar, who sometime in the later part of the 20th century leads a revolt, which will end up being Battle for the Planet of the Apes. Roddy McDowall, who played Cornelius, also plays Caesar, and he also plays Galen, the astronaut's friend in the TV series. And he said that when he was starting, apparently planning to work on Planet of the Apes, he went to the local zoo in New York to have to watch. I think it was New York, to watch the apes swinging from, particularly chimpanzees, swinging from the trees. So that he could moving about, so he could get the simian movements. In 2001, we had, excuse me, a really enjoyable remake of Planet of the Apes, which had Mark Wahlberg as an astronaut going into the future, and it was directed by Tim Burton. And it also had Helena Bonham Carter in it. A very good and very enjoyable remake. And I'm sorry that franchise didn't continue, although it could do if they wanted to. It's a sort of standalone from. Then the franchise was I think it was the 1990s when it was rebooted again, and we had after Planet of the Apes, we had the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, War of the Planet of the Apes, and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I think that Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I think that was the first one in a series of 4. We had, and playing Caesar, we had, with the help of CGI, Andy Serkis, a very talented actor, who was Gollum in Lord of the Rings. A very, very fine Caesar, not as humane as the Roddy McDowall portrayal, but very good. He's in, I think it is the first three, and it's a very good interpretation. I think I've certainly enjoyed all of them, and I hope very much that we'll be having another one fairly soon. Don't have a lot of merchandise from the film. I've got signed. I've got the films on DVD, and I've also got the TV series on DVD signed by Ron Harper. There's this Monopoly game, which it's all right. I think a lot of people love from Monopoly. They want to have the metal figures of the characters and everything, but this one doesn't have that. You get cardboard characters to go around the board. That's why I think it sold. Had a lot of. It was on a discount. I've got these lovely figures from Revelation. Here we've got Doctor. This is from the 1968 film Dr. Zaius, and I love the artwork's lovely. Just give you a little bit so he's a bit closer. But the artwork's just beautiful for figures that are so small. That's Dr. Zaius. We've got General Ursus, who I would not like to meet on a dark night. When he's addressing his soldiers, he says that the only good human is a dead human. Well, we have got some nice traits as human beings. Then we've got Nova, who is Charlton Heston's sort of love interest in the film. She's mute, basically. She's a lovely character. And she married one of the Zanuck family just after being. She's in Beneath the Planet of the Apes as well. Again, very lovely detail. Then we've got Colonel Taylor, played by Charlton Heston, without much clothing, unfortunately. There's a reason why he loses most of his clothes, but I won't go into it. But his performance in the film is absolutely magnificent. And in the second film, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, there's another character, another astronaut, and there's a wonderful touch in the movie where he meets Cornelius and Zira. And because he looks a little like Charlton Heston, they mistake him for Taylor. Because to them, a lot of humans look the same. Here we have Dr. Zira, played by Kim Hunter. That lovely face that she's got that they put on with the makeup. Just that lovely smile. It's and when she smiles in the film, she looks like she really means it. She's kind. She's kind. She's a really good character. And then Cornelius, played by Roddy McDowall. That's just really nice, and he's really kind as well. He's quite short-tempered. Doesn't have any time for idiots. But again, just breathtaking detail with these. And there's a wonderful scene in the film where Beneath the Planet of the Apes, where Cornelius and Zira give, I think it's Brent, played by James Franciscus, advice. They say, if you're captured, whatever you do, don't speak. Because if you do, they'll dissect you and kill you in that order. Because the humans, for most part, in the Planet of the Apes, are mute. I remember my little sister wanting to get see what an ape looked like. She came into our bedroom when we were watching TV Planet of the Apes, and wanted to see what an ape looked like. So we let her see what an ape looked like, and then got her back into her room very fast, because if Mum and Dad had found us with her in with us, we would have been in trouble. Probably no TV for the next month or something. As I say, I've got a special affection for the original Planet of the Apes franchise, because I didn't quite grow up with it, but it was around and it influenced myself, and a lot of young cinema goers fell under the magic of it all. And they did the right thing, like the Ray Harryhausen films. Having them reissued for the summer holidays was the right thing to do. They brought in a lot of money for 20th Century Fox, and I think still are. And I would love to see another Planet of the Apes film. So hopefully there will be one soon. I don't know. Maybe someone can help me with that. I hope you've enjoyed this look at Planet of the Apes. If you'd like to tick that like button, that would be lovely. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I'd love to have you aboard. I'll take that bell if you want to hear about any of my latest YouTube features, or forward to a friend. Anyhow, this is Duncan saying goodbye. Hope you've enjoyed it. Take care. God bless.